Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jesse Heller, the Marketing Director at Fade Business Systems Group. You are joining our webinar today, Automate Order Processing with Integrated E-commerce WMS Shipping and Payments for Sage100. That's quite a mouthful, but we're excited to have you here with us today. Just by way of a quick introduction, we're going to get to this in depth a little bit further along down our presentation, but so you can see we're joined by a collective group. We have a junta of people here from SimCloud and Scamco and Starship and APS Payments. They're all going to spend some time presenting some solutions today and showing us how everything works together, and we're really excited to have everybody presenting with us. So we have Eric and Ross and Seth and Matt and Patty, and maybe I left some people off. I don't know, but other people might join. But we have a large crew, and we're really excited. We're going to have some fun today. Those of you who are not aware about Fade Business Systems Group, we've been in the CRM and ERP space for quite a long time. We're a long time Sage Gold partner. And we're also recognized as a Sugar CRM Elite Partner. We were their global reseller of the year last year, and we're known in the space as the CRM and ERP guys, and we've built integrations around that, which I'll show you in a second. We've done hundreds of implementations, and we've been working with Sage for a long time, and as well as CRM. We've got offices, we're based in Los Angeles, but we've got offices throughout the United States and the Midwest and the East Coast as well. As I mentioned, we've built a Sugar CRM Sage100 integration that brings a true CRM cloud integration to Sage100, as well as a handful of Sage100 add-on products that you can see here, and you can also view them on our website. And then we've built a series of CRM integrations as well for Sugar CRM, including QuickBooks and Constant Contact for email marketing and project management in Jira, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So with that, thanks for sitting through my quick intro. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, please feel free to pass them over to put them in the chat box, and I'll get them over to our panelists as we go throughout the presentation. And just bear with us one sec. I'm going to pass the mic over to Patty from APS, and she's going to take us through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Jesse, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to be at this webinar with you today, and very excited to present. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just continue with some brief introductions. Wanted to just let you know what each one of these companies that is participating in today's webinar covers within Sage100. I'd like to begin with SimCloud, also known as Website Pipeline, who introduced the first customer interaction management software platform called SimCloud, with CRM and e-commerce functionality designed specifically for product-centric B2B companies and 100% integration to their existing ERP. SimCloud will revolutionize business by optimizing their customers' interactions. And next is Scamco. Since 1989, thanks, Eric. I sound like a commercial, but it's not enough. I'd like to brag a little more. Scamco, since 1989, has been leading provider of supply chain automation software and services. From their inception, they've focused on innovative warehouse and manufacturing automation solutions with a unique mobile technology-driven approach. The solution that Scamco delivers is unequaled and efficiency and visible for distribution and manufacturing companies around the globe. Let's jump over to V Technologies and the Starship solution. V Technologies is a Sage Gold development partner specializing in integrated shipping solutions since 1989. Well over, I want to say almost 20 years actually. Almost 20 years available. They have extensive knowledge with the full spectrum of Sage products. This is in addition to established relationships with carriers and other related applications, inventory management and EDI included. Provides a mature solution that can grow with you and your business. And last but not least, APS Payments, With connections to many different industries, we've become the endorsed merchant solutions provider for many restaurants, hospitality, and software companies throughout the United States and Canada. APS Payments is a full-service merchant provider. We serve thousands of small, medium, and large organizations, and today we would like to show you the new click-to-pay functionality, which is fully integrated with Sage100. So what exactly will we be covering during today's presentation? Eric from SimCloud will begin by showing us how simple it is to place B2B and B2C orders and accept payments on an online portal with SimCloud by Website Pipeline. Ross and Seth with Scanco will walk us through the process of directed picking and packing with a guided picking pack to efficiently and accurately pick sales orders. Scanco will also show how the users can then pack the items indicated, the Sage package detail that ties into shipping data entry, and then pass it over to Starship. Matt from Starship will then show you how to ship the packages that were defined on the handheld, that were defined by Scanco, and they will highlight the features such as rate shopping to find the best carrier and automation, international documentation. Last but not least, I will show you how you can save an average of 43% on your current credit card processing fees without having to change your existing workflow process. I will then introduce you to Click-to-Pay, and just so you get an idea, Click-to-Pay is a simple and secure way for Sage100 users to get invoices paid almost as fast as the invoices are printed. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Eric.
All right.
And let's see, make presenter. Here you go.
Let's see here. All right. So Patty, can you see my screen okay?
I can.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we're going to just do kind of a little scenario here. So this is the whole thing to kind of paint the picture of what the process might look like for you guys. I'm with a company called Alexander Specialties. I'm a customer of the Grind Supply, and the whole kind of scenario is that Alexander Specialties, we're putting on an event, and I need to order some coffee and a few coffee makers for my event. Okay, so I'm an existing customer of the Grind. But what I want to show you here is this is basically our SimCloud demo site, and this product right now is set up to be both business to consumer. So meaning that a consumer could come to the site for the Grind and actually find products, whip out their credit card and make a purchase, and they're actually seeing retail price right now on the website. So whatever the consumer B2C price is, so they can come in and see price, see products, search for products, find information, and then actually check out and buy as well right on the site, right? So you can see the different interfaces we have on this. You can actually drill into the products. You can see all the information. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the business to consumer aspect. Mainly that, you know, we have a ton of features, but it's very similar to a lot of other e-commerce platforms out there in the feature set. So not there. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. But because Alexander Specialties is actually an existing customer that I've got different, I've got special pricing, I've got special terms. I don't pay tax, right, because I have a tax certificate with these guys already lined up. So then, so I'm able to log in. So what I wanted to show you is if I come here to this coffee, so COFM ADV, that the retail price of this coffee maker right now is $89.95. Okay, if I were to log in, so I'm going to log in now, and this is my username and password for my customer information. And as soon as I log in, the website knows, because I'm real-time integrated with Sage100, that it automatically knows the exact price I should pay, what terms I have, what credit limit I have, all my billing and shipping information. It knows all my sales orders, invoices, payments I've made, and all my shipment information right out of the box. Okay, so as soon as I logged in, the website automatically loaded all the information, and you see that it automatically adjusted my price right here as well to the $49.47, which is my price coming out of Sage100. Okay, so I'm gonna put 5 of these in the shopping cart for my order. And then you can also see here, if I want to come into a favorites list, I've actually got a favorites list already set up here. And by the way, if I said, man, if I feel like I've ordered that before, I can come in now, I can come into order history. We're actually pulling this order history right from Sage100 to show, hey, how many times I've actually ordered it before, the total quantity I've ordered, the last time I've ordered it, the first time I've ordered it, and all the information here as far as the times it's been invoiced and that kind of information, okay? So it's a very intelligent website pulling right from the Sage100 information. So it doesn't matter if the orders are coming in from the website, from phone calls, emails, or smoke signals. As long as you guys are getting the orders into Sage100, we're able to pull that back out and show that relevant information on the site. Okay. But what I wanted to show you here as well is I actually have a favorites list set up here, so I can come right into my special event list. And I actually happen to have 2 different items set up on my special event list already. So I need 100 of these coffees as well for my event as well. So I just added those, and you can see I have 105 of these in my cart. Okay. But if I want to come in and say, man, what have I been buying from these guys recently anyway? I can come in here to what we call our say orders and shipments here, our sum of quantity, right? So we call this our smart order form list. And again, it's using all the information right from Sage100, where we can show customers all the items they've been ordering from most frequently ordered all the way down to least frequently ordered. So it's just a quick order form for them to come right in and say, yep, I want 5 of these, 2 of these, 7 of these, and then reorder right away without having to spend a lot of time in here. They can also come in and see that from the order history, so they can see all their previous sales orders if I want to reorder from that, or I can come right into any one of these. So if I drill into this, I can see all my order header information, all my order lines. I can see exactly what was shipped and what was back ordered, any invoice that's tied to it, any shipments that have gone out with tracking information that will link right out to the correct carrier and track it. And then I can click on the invoice here, and the website automatically knows, based on my terms, how many days until my invoice is due. I can print the invoice right from here as well. And then, and this is just another option in addition to Patty's click to pay for customers to be able to pay their invoice, and then we push that cash receipt in as well. So Patty's tool is very, very slick for invoice payments, and this is just another way to collect payment as well. Okay, so so that being said, I'm just going to go ahead through the cart process here. I'm going to view my my shopping cart, and the order is correct, and then I can go ahead and proceed to checkout, where the site's going to pre-populate all of my billing and shipping information automatically, coming right out of Sage. All my ship tos are going to be here, and then it knows what tax I should pay, if any. We can automatically calculate shipping rates based on real-time integrations with UPS and FedEx. Now, this works in conjunction or alongside of Matt's of Starship as well with V Technologies. So we can calculate a rate, and then we can pass in the estimated rate into Sage100. But Matt's tool actually gets you the actual cost of what, once you put it on the scales and get ready to ship it out, of what that's going to be. Okay, and we also have the ability to vary the rates based on by zip code. So, for instance, or if someone is like within 10 zip codes around my office, I can say, hey, it's going to be a local pickup option, or we may have our own local delivery trucks. So if someone's ship to addresses within those 10 zip codes, we can only show the local delivery option if we wanted to. Okay, and then we also know what terms that customer has. So if they're a prepay only customer, then the only option they're going to see would be maybe debit or credit card, or for instance, in this case, PayPal. But if they're in good standing and have terms with you like Net 30, then they have the ability to just type in a PO number, and then they can go ahead and place the order. They can save the order and work on it later. Or some of the advanced options we have now is that we know who their sales rep is, so then they can I could just click here and send this off to my sales rep for them to review it for me and maybe make any adjustments with any comments. Or if I need supervisor approval now, this is also an option with us where it can send this order right to my supervisor. The supervisor can review it. They can make edits to it. They can reject it, send it back to me to make edits on my own, or they can go ahead and approve it. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and place the order. And then what happens right now is that the website actually generates an order number. That order is on its way into Sage100 to be right into a Sage100 sales order without any rekeying or anything else that has to happen. The customer is actually getting an order confirmation email to confirm the order. And then also we're letting you guys know as the website or the grind is getting an email as well, letting them know that, hey, that there's an order coming in as well. Okay. So all that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Matt now. So Matt, here you go. Or is it going to Jesse now? Sorry. Not Jesse, I'm sorry, Seth and
Ross.
Yeah, sorry, Seth and Ross. So change presenter.
One of the above.
Yeah. If I pick enough names, I'm going to get one right eventually.
I know. Well, you forgot Patty. I think we forgot a couple people. So almost there, Eric.
All right, there we go.
If we can laugh at our own jokes, then that's good enough, right? Anyway, well, thanks for everyone for joining. Thanks, Eric, for the long introduction to us, to making our way around. But anyway, I am Ross, and my partner in crime next to me is Seth, and we're with Scanco. And so Scanco, and kind of went over a little bit of overview briefly, but Scanco as a company has been in the warehouse automation business for a little over 30 years now. And a lot of new changes over the past year or so with Scanco, being is that we have now become a larger company, and we've had several acquisitions of other companies over the time. So not only do we focus solely on distribution, but we branched out to multi-bin, which we'll talk a little bit about today with our software, and manufacturing, and job ops and everything else. So basically, we cover everything within the four walls of a warehouse. So anytime a product moves, be it distribution, be it manufacturing, Scanco has got you covered from all aspects. But today we're going to be focusing on taking the shipment from the sales order stage and accurately getting it out the door. So hopefully everyone can see my screen okay. And so we'll go and talk a little bit about the Sage side of things first. So as you can see in front of my screen, that we have our typical Sage system set up, and as Eric went and showed you, he was able to take the order from the website phase into an actual sales order entry inside of Sage. That's all good and well. So how do we accurately get it out the door? Well, you can do things the manual paper method way by printing the pick sheet out and going and finding the items and pulling them and shipping them out, putting in boxes. But that doesn't bode well for a true automation system. So what Scanco does is simplifies all these yellow folders that you see with shipping and brings them into a little bit more of a finite, easy to use method of our warehouse product. So in front of you, I brought up our main splash screen for Scanco Warehouse. We are a mobile application, so that means we can work off a multitude of different devices, but our bread and butter is iOS and Android. So that means you can take everything from a mobile tablet, an Android or iOS tablet, or to a phone and utilize that device and turn it into, with an attachment or two, a full-blown barcode reader. So gone are the days of those big brick scanners that were once Windows mobile devices that you'd see in grocery stores. And now is the day of something sleek that fits in the back of your pocket that you pull open, sign in, and now you have your full-blown warehouse automation system. So, as we mentioned before, we do talk directly to Sage in real time. We do work through the barcode module. For those that are now on Sage 2018, is now called the mobility module. And we'll talk a little bit about that here on the back end. So in front of you, you'll see a bunch of different applications, everything from item inquiry to receiving and transfers, and all these different little modules pertain to Sage modules. So again, getting rid of the yellow folders and going over to something a little bit more streamlined and easy to use. So the whole point of being in the warehouse is to limit the amount of data entry and searching and finding things, and make it a little bit more streamlined, so you can get the package out in an accuracy method, as well as a little bit quicker method than the double entry of taking things down by pen and paper. So we do focus on different movements of the product. So in an ideal warehouse automation, you should be scanning the items through all times they move from receipt of goods to shipment. today we're going to be focused on a true pick and pack method. So you did hear me mention earlier about multi-bin. So standard Sage allows you to have an item or a widget to a single primary bin location is a 1-to-1 ratio, where multi-bin allows you to have multiple bin locations, such as a receiving bin, a shipping bin, a primary pick bin, to give you a more finite method of storing purposes, as well as routing and shipping and picking purposes. So we're going to go through two methods of what we call a pick and pack method. So with our multi-bin software, formerly ACS multi-bin, now it's ScanCo multi-bin for those that are familiar with the term ACS multi-bin, we're going to take it into a pick and pack method. So it's basically a scan once to pick and stage the product, and a scan twice to then validate that pick and then ship it out. Certainly you could do different methods, but we're going to break it down into a two-step method today. So once we have the sales order in hand, there are multiple different ways. A pick sheet can be printed out of Sage and be handed to someone on the floor, and/or we do have order assignment options through a dashboard, so you can assign an order to a particular user. Or we do have gone the text messaging route nowadays, seeing that's how most people communicate, and we do have options for actual messaging, text messaging, an individual user or users in the warehouse from a scan code order assignment dashboard. So various different ways of communications with our software. So we'll go and do the picking method first. So if I click on the little picking card here at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see there's a lot of different ways to pick an order. I'll briefly explain what those do, but we're going to focus on a more directed method today. So out of the box, our standard ScanCo software allows what we call a quick picking method. So this is a non-routed method. Basically, it allows you to scan an order, pull items, kind of with a freestyle pick. So if you had a quick pick area to pull items from, to where they were all in one standard location, you could pull those items, maybe throw them in a box or move them over to a staging area to where they're going to be held until a truck comes and picks up or the shipping department's ready to box them up. So what the picking allows you to do is kind of pre-allocate. It's really kind of a fancy transfer of the items from their primary location into an order staging location where they will be eventually boxed and shipped. Okay, so during that method, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. There we go. So wave picking will allow you to load up multiple orders at a time and route through a warehouse by different routing methods with the multi-bin. Order picking allows you to do the same directed method, but in a single order, so one order at a time. We did go through the quick pick, and then we'll jump down to invoice pick, ship pick. So this is kind of the neat option for those that don't want to scan the items a second time, but simply just scan them and send them directly to invoicing, where then Starship will pick them up. Okay, so it's important to kind of jump ahead real quick and let you know that when we do collect the items, this is a true kind of shipping data entry method, like you would in Sage. So what we do is we actually will collect and validate the items, send them into shipping data entry, where we actually create a shipment invoice in Sage. From there, Starship would pick up from that shipment invoice and process the labels. So let's kind of go through that routing method with that particular order. So if we were to go to the order picking method, okay, we first choose the warehouse that we're going to be picking the product from. So we can have it defaulted to the specific warehouse based on the user ID that's logged in. So we'll go ahead and choose that warehouse. And then if you notice, I have something called the staging bin. Okay, so this bin is kind of a holding bin, or like a pallet or a crate, or kind of a corralled area where the boxes are going to get temporarily held at. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose a bin called shipping. Help if I actually had the right barcode scan for the right product. There we go, shipping. And then we're going to go ahead and choose our sales order that we're picking for this particular order. So at any given time where you have a prompt, you can do one of three methods with our product. You can type it in using the on-screen keyboard. For those that prefer not to type and want to do a lookup, you can do a lookup, and it's going to show you every available sales order that can be picked in this particular warehouse. And you can sort and do a search date, location, time, etc. Okay? If I choose not to do that method and I want to type it in, I certainly can, or I could just scan that sales order. It's going to do one of two things at that moment. It's going to validate that sales order and let me know that it's an available order to pick. All right. And two, it's going to bring up a little information status on it. So it's going to tell me how many lines are on that sales order, how many lines are in that particular warehouse that I'm in, and how many lines I can pick. And if there's any lines or any product that's on there that does not have a sufficient quantity on hand to pick, it'll let me know that ahead of time. So I can kind of be prepared of what to do. So once I've done that, depending on my routing method that I have lined up in Sage, it's going to take me to either my first line of my sales order or to the first bin available. So as you notice, it's going to tell me to scan this item. So what I'm doing is I'm validating that particular item to scan. If I scan an incorrect item, it's going to tell me that I scanned the wrong item. So if you do have aliases set up in Sage, we do recognize those immediately. So anytime we are scanning a product at a line item, we are validating against the line items and aliases in Sage. So if it doesn't exist, we'll let you know. One of the key advantages of that being typed in Sage.
Ross, are you actually scanning, or are you just making a beeping noise with your?
I am making. You ever remember Beaker from the Muppets? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually using a scanner. So I am using I have my screen is sharing is my the iOS interface. So I do have a scanner split attachment. So if you've ever been to Home Depot, Lowe's, Nordstrom, Macy's recently, you'll notice a lot of employees have scanners on their iPhones. That's what we carry. So we carry a multitude of different platforms of devices, from Zebra to companies by Linea Pro. So we've partnered up with a couple. But yes, my beeping impersonation is not that good. But yes, thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
So at this time, you'll notice that I have a quantity banner. So if you look up, it's going to tell me how many is on the order, how many I can pick, and how many I have picked. So once I go ahead and pick it and stage it, it's going to then move me on to the next item on the list, or I could stay at that same bin and keep picking. So without going too in-depth through the entire order, I think you kind of got the gist that what I've done is now stage this particular order into a staging bin and kind of held it. So right now I'm going to just send this into Sage, and you can partially pick orders without fully picking them. It's okay, because maybe you only have a partial order to ship. So if I were to go back inside of Sage, just so you kind of get a brief overview before we move on, we have back in Sage under sales order, we do have something called Sage sales orders, okay? So if I go ahead and pull that sales order up, and I pull that sales order up in Sage, it is going to tell me that I have scanned successfully so far 1 line items with a quantity of 3, and it's currently staged in this staging location. So you are getting a complete overview in Sage with this, and from here you can send it to invoicing through our multi-bin interface, or we can go back to the scanners and finish out our transaction. And it's important to know too, I keep mentioning the word real time. Well, that is really important. So what we're doing is every time that we're writing, scanning, looking something up, we're writing that data to Sage in real time back into the barcode tables. None of this data that you see is actually being stored on the device. So some of the benefits that is one, real-time communication and real-time updates inside of Sage. So if someone were to update the sales order or purchase order in Sage, it will update on the handheld immediately, and vice versa. Another key benefit is that scanner were to break, battery die, someone's got to log out and go take a bathroom break, whatever reason, and they didn't finish that transaction, no fear, they literally can pick up another device, sign in with their user ID and password, and then pick up immediately where they left off. So some key benefits to, again, that real-time aspect. So once I'm done with the shipping, or when I'm done with the picking, it's now time to ship it. So as Patty mentioned earlier, we're really going to dive into the box level detail, similar to how you would do it inside of Sage with shipping. So for that purpose, we're going to go to the shipping icon, and then we're going to choose our shipping batch, just like you would before. And then we're going to go ahead and choose our shipper ID, again, just like you would in Sage. And then we're going to go ahead and scan our sales order number that we're shipping. And you're asking yourself, Ross, how did you get a barcode for the sales order? good question, people. So what you can do is through Chris Reports, you can add barcodes. Your reseller could help you do that, or ScanCo. Add barcodes through the Azalea font, something part of the mobility or barcode module, and add barcodes to the items if you do print a piece of paper out for item levels, for sales order levels, so you can simply scan. The more you can scan, the less you have to type, the more streamlined it'll be. So once I'm done with the shipping portion, I validated my ID, my batch, my sales order number. We're going to go ahead and choose our box level. So what we're doing is we're actually placing items into separate boxes, just as you would in Sage. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and choose box 1. I'm going to go ahead and scan my item. It's going to tell me, yes, I'm going to put this inside of that box, and then it's going to request me for my bin location. So I can still pull from any bin, or you can have it default to the staging bin that you staged it at. We're going to go ahead and choose our shipping bin. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and choose my quantity I'm placing in this box. And if I so choose to keep adding items to that box, I may, or I can simply just move on to the next box, box 2. So let's say you eventually finish your order. Again, I don't want to go all the way through. I want to make sure we have appropriate time for everyone else. And if you have to go back to a previous box, you can simply do that by just touching on the box from, typing in a previous box number, and then moving on. So once all that is said and done, I can then validate my order and send it through in the shipping. I can review the items on there, or we can simply just go ahead and process all that through. So we're going to go ahead and send that back into Sage, to where we then will send it into shipping data entry, where we've created the shipment invoice. And from there, I believe Starship V Technologies is next, where they will take that shipment invoice and then run it through UPS, FedEx, LTL, etc. So I'm done with my portion, and do I need to move it to someone else, or Patty, you're going to take care of that?
Now, if you wouldn't mind right-clicking on Matt's name and making him presenter, please.
All right, Matt, you should have it.
Yes, I do. Thanks, Ross. Let me just share my screen here. All right, so hopefully everyone can see my screen.
We can.
Yeah, my name. Oh, thanks, Patty. My name is Matt St. John, the sales executive here at Starship. So we're going to pick this up right where we just left off with ScanCo, and as Ross just mentioned, they are going to create that order or that entry inside of shipping data entry inside of Sage. So nice thing with Starship, we do have two options. I could go into shipping data entry, basically pull up the order we just created, click a Starship button, pass that information into Starship, and kind of do what I need to do in Starship, ship and process, receive my shipping documents, and then go back into shipping data entry. It's our original, what we call our Starship link interface. We do have a interface called the business object interface, or I like to call it the direct interface. And that's what I'm going to show you today. I like the direct interface because as a shipper now, I can actually just work right inside of Starship. So technically, I don't need access to Sage. I don't need Sage on my shipping workstation. Basically, I just keep working right with inside Starship, not worrying about having to jump back and forth between two programs. So on the upper left-hand side, that's our source document. And with the source document here, we can pull by invoice, by sales order number, or by customer number order or customer number. Here, I have this selected to invoice because as you just saw, ScanCo is going to make that entry inside of shipping data entry in Sage and create that invoice. So I need to pull this by invoice. If I try to change this to sales order and pull by a sales order, it's going to tell me, hey, this shipment's currently being shipped, because technically inside of Sage it is. But so with invoice, I'm still going to be able to put in the sales order number, because I know usually on that pick sheet, you're not going to have the invoice number because that's created, again, as soon as we do the pick pack with the ScanCo right from the handheld app. So we do have an enhancement that allows you to still have invoice selected and then put in the sales order number. So sales order number, we can do a lookup and see all the invoices or entries inside of shipping data entry. I can manually type this in, or same thing with Starship, we can just use a regular wedge type scanner and scan in the barcoded sales order number in this case. So I'll do that, and for Eric's sake, I'll go beep, make the beep noise for him, keep him happy. But Starship is going to map in all the order header, line item details.
Oh, that just made my day.
That's how you'd like that.
Okay, I'm going back on mute.
We are going to pull in all the order header, line item detail information. And this is going to come in however you define the shipment on the handheld scanner. That's how Starship's going to retrieve all the order header, item to box information. So we're mapping information from Sage. So here, based off the ship via field that came in on that sales order, Starship's automatically going to select the carrier, service, the billing type, and of course, account information. We can help automate third-party shipments because we can, automatically populate all this data. One less thing my shipper has to stop and manually fill out or manually put in, change this to third-party or collect and put in the customer's account number. Again, with Starship, we can automate that whole process. Sender, that's just the company we're pulling the order from, and the recipient, of course, is the ship to. So we do support multiple companies as well as warehouses and or locations. And on the ship to, we are actually going to do address validation. We validate zip+4, and we will also validate the commercial residential flag. So going to help save on those address correction fees as well as the commercial residential correction fee. Now down in the package view, again, this is how on that handheld scanner I define my items. So Starship's going to bring that in and put everything in the boxes for me. Now here in my system, I just have my default box set up as custom box. You can most certainly name it as something else. But on the box details, Starship actually has a database where you can set up and store your own custom boxes. So maybe here I know the coffee maker goes in a large box. Nice thing with doing that is it's automatically going to populate the dimensions for my shipper. Below that, we have the actual versus bill weight. So actual weight, if you have a scale integrated to your shipping machine, we can most certainly pull in weights automatically from a scale. I can manually type that in, or in my system here, I'm just grabbing the weights from inside of Sage. So here we have the actual 17, but as you can see, this build weight is 21 pounds. So that is the dimensional weight. So we also do take into consideration dim weight. I know it's a big deal nowadays with UPS and FedEx, so going to help save on those fees as well. All right. And I'm just going to expand my items. I'm going to go into the line item detail here. Again, as I said, we're just mapping fields from Sage. So I'm pulling in item number description right from Sage, right from item maintenance. But we also, inside Starship, will start storing your inventory items in our own database. And the reason we do this, for example, NMFC code, the freight class, or the Schedule B or required international data, isn't really, there's not a spot currently. I know in starting 2017, Sage added a spot for commodity codes, but they really don't have spots for this information. So we do have a database where you can store that information. Here on the Schedule B or commodity code, I can actually look that up. So right at time of shipment, I can select that. And of course, any of this information I populate, once I click OK and ship this, it's automatically going to save it for next time. And again, with those map fields, if you do happen to have any of this information living in, say, a user-defined field or maybe on a comment line, we can easily change the mappings to automatically pull that from other areas inside of Sage. All right. Next step is then to rate shop. And as Eric showed you, most certainly you can rate shop right from the website using SimCloud. Here, again, we're doing the same thing. We're sending out that live negotiated account information, and we are going to hit up the carrier's API services, and we are going to return your live negotiated rates. We also will return list rates. So here I have all my different options for the carriers I have modules with. I can also break this down and see estimated delivery. I can go by business days or total days, and if I wanted to, I can even see either contract or list. Okay. With Starship, you can also get into automating this rate shopping. We can set up ship via rules, so we can tell Starship, hey, automatically rate shop every order and maybe always select the least expensive carrier and service or maybe least amount of delivery days. So up to you. Again, name of the game with Starship is streamlining that whole shipping process for your shipper. Real quick, I just click on the charges tab. To actually process a shipment, I do not have to select this. I just like to show it because with Starship, you can also get into doing what we call freight rules. So if you need to maybe add a handling fee, maybe you do promo codes, or hey, anything over $1,000 is free shipping, with Starship Freight Rules, we'll certainly can handle those. Here I just have one. As you can see, it's 10% discount. I'm actually just using a user-defined field that I have living on customer maintenance, simple checkbox called freight discount. So this customer is receiving this 10% discount. So they can be percentages, min-maxes, flat rates. It could be plus or minus off the list price or your contract price. The triggers, as I like to call them, can go all the way down to, like, say, line item detail. So, you know, anytime maybe item 1, 2, 3, 4 is on an order, let's add additional $10 because we have to add additional maybe bubble wrap or packaging material. Okay. So once I do that and I'm ready to ship and process, I'll simply click the ship and process button or the F5 key, just the shortcut key. But as soon as I do ship and process, I will receive my shipping documents. Now, of course, for the sake of the demo, I am just going to preview them, but these can go right to a printer. You can even save them to a network, you know, PDF them, save them to a network folder if you need. So here's for package 1. This is also our smart label. And again, just use this for the demo. And as you can see, the smart label will print the shipping label and the packing list together. This would need to go to a laser printer because it, of course, goes to paper. But with Starship, we can also send the shipping label to a thermal printer. Probably that's what you're currently doing. And if you wanted to, with Starship's pack list, you have the option that can go to a thermal printer as well, or, of course, send it to paper. Okay. So box 1, close that. We'll go to box 2. Starship's documents can also be customized. You can create unlimited templates for each custom document. And then with each template, you can also get into assigning printing rules. So, hey, maybe customer ABC needs the commercial, or say, for example, the packing list to look a certain way, or maybe you're doing drop ships and you need a different company logo on the packing slip. You can create a template for, you know, maybe customer ABC, and then assign a printing rule so that document would only print when the shipment is for customer ABC. Here is the commercial invoice. We do generate all international documents. If this was a LTL shipment, we could do bill of lading forms, you know, pallet labels, so on and so forth. So here's the commercial invoice. And again, I customize it. I have it signed, dated, ready to go. One less thing as a shipper I have to stop and manually sign or fill out. And then the NAFTA form, again, kind of the standard fields down below already populating for me. Right. So ship and process, receive my shipping documents. Now as a shipper, I'm just in that rinse repeat cycle, ready to move on, maybe scan or manually type in my next order to be shipped out the door. Okay. And quickly, I'll just jump back into Sage here, put on a different hat, and we'll be in the front office now. I'm going to go into invoice data entry, go to my last invoice here. So this is the write back. So here's the sales order we just shipped. On the header tab, I'm going to click on this tracking button. And as you can see here, Starship's going to write back all the tracking information, carrier weight, freight amounts, right into Sage's summary package tracking table. Now, because this is in Sage's table, I can actually use their buttons to track, or again, item to box detail. I can see what's in each box if a customer calls up wanting to know. And then on the totals tab, we're going to, of course, write back that freight, again, plus or minus any freight rules that you have set up. Or in the case, again, if this came from SimCloud where, hey, we already charged the freight on the order and it got brought into Sage that way, we can simply do write back rules that say, hey, if there's already a value in this field, do not overwrite it. So we don't have to worry about, you know, going back in and changing this. I also underneath have this freight cost from Starship and fuel surcharge field. These are actually just user-defined fields that I've added. Nice thing with Starship and that direct interface is I can take additional shipping information and pass it into user-defined fields. So here is what I'm charging the customer for the shipment. Underneath is, in this case, it's UPS. So this is what I'm going to be charged by UPS. Okay. Worked with a customer. They just kind of want one last quality control check. You know, oh, hey, wait a minute, we're shorting ourselves. What happened? The customer received a 10% discount. No, they owe us money, so they shouldn't receive any discounts. And I can simply just change the freight amount field here. Okay. So again, Starship's going to write that information back for you automatically. No more manually filling that out. And really quickly, I'll just show show you two other programs that are included with Starship. First one is our e-Notify program. So with e-Notify, this allows you to create unlimited, you design them, templates for emails that you can send out to your customers. If you're currently using UPS or FedEx, for example, UPS has the Quantum View Notify. That's nice, but it is labeled UPS. So with e-Notify, you can actually create your own custom template, put your company logo on there, build your brand awareness. These are very easy to create. So here I quickly have one. Hey, I'm giving them PO numbers so I can pull in information from Sage. Let them know, hey, 3 packages should be there on the 28th. I can show them item to box detail. And of course, these tracking numbers are hyperlinked. So send these to your customers, let them track, reduce those inbound calls of customers calling you asking, hey, where's my shipment? And on these, the unlimited templates, same thing like the printing rules, you can also get into emailing rules. So if I only wanted to send maybe a 20% off coupon code that I have here to certain customers, I most certainly can do that as well. And real quick, the dashboard reporting tool, this is nice. So e-Notify dashboard, and we even offer the rate shopping from sales order entry. So this is standard with Starship. We add this button, so actually at time of order, customer service reps can actually rate shop. But the rate shop feature, no additional charges, no additional seats or licenses needed, and also these programs can be installed on as many workstations as you like. So front office, hey, if they need to track something, they can actually just track right from dashboard if they want. And as you can see, this is the screen to gain access to all the information that they'll be able to see. And just a way to, that way they don't have to contact the warehouse, find out, hey, did that order ship? It's all going to be right there, right in front of them. And we have a bunch of canned reports. Two I always make mention of. Late delivery report, simply run that. It's going to show you any package that was not delivered by the guaranteed date. So you can contact the carrier and get a refund. And then we have a charge comparison report. That simply is going to show you all your shipments. It's going to have a column for the applied. Again, that's what you charge the customer for the shipment. It's then going to compare it to your contract rate. And then the third column would be the plus or minus. Again, quick report you can run. Make sure you're not losing money on your shipments. So really, it's a high-level overview of Starship. So I guess I'm going to pass this over to Patty so she can show you how easy it is to capture the credit card as well as save you money on your processing fees.
Thank you, Matt. Great presentation so far. Eric, I couldn't say more about SimCloud and ScanCo as well. I wanted to Eric, Rasa, Matt, really all of the information that comes from these enhancements to Sage100 will also help you to save money with credit card processing. Think about it. You have all of the flexibility on your website with your e-commerce solution. It's a very powerful solution with SimCloud. And then you have the automation, security, compliance with ScanCo and Starship. Now, what can we do to help you save even more money and maybe help you offset the cost of the solutions that are being presented today? It has to do with Level 3 processing. Level 3 processing is a program put in place by Visa MasterCard, which offers merchants who process business-to-business or business-to-government transactions a lower rate. The rate can go as low as 0.03%. You heard correctly. So I know the typical rate is 2.65. It can go down to 1.85. And depending on the volume of a transaction, the rate can actually go down to 0.03, which means that the savings can be considerable. And just so you get an idea, the highest amount that we've been able to save a company simply by processing through Level 3 processing is $112,000 a year. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to show you exactly what is needed from Visa and MasterCard in order to qualify a transaction for Level 3 rates. As you can see on the screen, the fields are a good amount of fields actually, but we have taken all of these fields directly from Sage and we deliver them on our merchant's behalf. This is a typical analysis statement of a true customer of ours. You can see that simply by processing through Level 3, we were able to save them almost $1,400 a month. So keep that in mind, and if you're interested in a free audit, please let us know. I'd like to walk through Click to Pay, which is our new functionality that we're announcing. It actually came out this year. Click to Pay allows you to print your paperless office invoices with the Pay Now button, and then it allows your customers to submit their payment using the Pay Now button. They can pay for one or multiple invoices. We do fully integrate with SimCloud, so when you process a payment through SimCloud or a pre-authorization, it does go through our gateway, and we also allow you to send out the invoices as you would with Starship with that Pay Now button as well. So let's jump into the Sage100 and walk through Click to Pay. I wanted to briefly show you exactly where Click to Pay is enabled. And you can see I'm under Library Master, Main, and Company Maintenance. You'll see an APS Click to Pay enabled button. Also, level 3 can be turned on here. Click to Pay allows for credit card processing as well as ACH. And you can choose either or. And then we allow for multi-currency. And the default customer option can be opt-in by customer or opt-out. All of this can also be changed per customer in AR company maintenance. AR customer maintenance. And you can see in customer maintenance, what will happen is you will have an additional checkbox to opt in or opt out for Click to Pay. Credit card processing is fully integrated within Sage100. You can pre-authorize. You can also capture on an invoice. I won't go through it because it's very standard Sage functionality. What I did do is I created an invoice so that you could see how the customer would receive the invoice and submit the payment through Click to Pay. So let's just say, for example, now we're on the customer side of things where they will receive an email from you. And when they click on the attachment, they will see a crystal form, which can be completely customizable. And they will see an APS Click to Pay button. When they click on that button, details specific to each invoice will appear down to the line level detail, not just the customer and the amount. And now they have the option to make a payment. Now, if it's a customer who is on terms, you can actually list all of the invoices this customer owes, as you can see here. And the customer can pick and choose the different invoices, pay the full balance or a custom amount. Let's just say for this demo, I'm paying for one invoice. I can enter a brand new credit card. I could also pay using ACH, as I mentioned, given the permission. And then I can use an existing payment method or create a brand new payment method. I'm going to enter a credit card right now, and I'll show you how simple that is. And this is Eric's personal card, so feel free to take note. I thought you were on mute.
Oh, that was kind of funny.
Oh, look, it didn't work. Eric, you need to put some more funds into that card. I think I may have typed it in wrong. So the key here is you process the credit card transaction. If for any reason something like this happens, the customer has their own portal. They're able to key in their email address and their password, so they can always go back to that. Or they can just go back to their standard email and try it again. I may have typed in that credit card information wrong. Let me try it one more time. Or Eric just doesn't have enough funds. Christmas shopping went really bad. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this time it'll work. If it doesn't work, I'll just go to Sage100 and show you what a typical card would look, or what a typical transaction would look like. Well, this time it went through. So once the transaction goes through, the customer will receive a transaction ID, but you can also set up the system to have them automatically receive a receipt, so they know exactly what was paid for and the details behind what they paid for, the invoice number, the amount, etc. Now that the customer has submitted their payment, let's go back to Sage100 and show you where the payment ended up for the end user of Sage100. You simply go to cash receipts to accept the payments, and this is how simple it is. Standard Sage100 process. I'm going to go ahead and start a cash receipts deposit. You're going to notice that an APS button appears, an APS Click to Pay button at the bottom. When you click on this button, it will actually bring in all of the transactions that were processed that day using Click to Pay by your customers. Notice how I didn't have to key any of the credit card information in. And now all I have to do is go to my customer, and I will be able to see the different invoices that were paid with the amounts. It's that simple. From this point forward, you continue your standard update at the end of the day or whenever you update your Sage100. We capture the funds, and the funds are now set up to be available the next day. We usually automatically set up the batch to batch out by 9 p.m. Eastern time. And so long as you batch out by that time, the funds will be available in your bank account the next morning. So let me show you briefly where it is that you would be able to see the different batches. Now you can see them within Sage100, but you can also see them in the APS portal. You get a specific login for the portal where you could always process transactions from here as well. But mainly, you're able to see the different reports that are available. So there's an immense amount of reporting. You can see that, I won't click on all the drop downs, but we make it almost impossible for you not to find any transaction. You can see here. Let's take a look at today's transactions. And this is a really nice area if you don't want to have to go into Sage100 to just view the activity, the credit card activity throughout the day. You can see that we will give you a bird's eye view of the transactions, let you know if it's a pending capture or if it's been approved. We will also reference the sales order or the invoice number. And if you click on the transaction ID, you will be able to see the same line level of detail that you would be able to see within Sage100, including the items on the invoice or the line level detail. So not only do we offer the click to pay functionality for you, we do also offer several other features, and I won't read them off, but I do want to leave them on the screen for you before we switch back over to Jesse in case you have any questions. The one thing that I do want to make sure that you know is that we do not charge for turning on the credit card processing module, installation, implementation, training, maintenance, or support. And if you're interested in a free audit and would like to know how to save up to 43% on your credit card processing fees, please contact me and I will be happy to provide you with that free audit. And with that, I hope I didn't take up too much time here. I think we have a couple more minutes left. Jesse, I'd like to hand it back over to you in case anybody has any questions.
Thanks, Patty. So there haven't been any questions that came in to the chat, but if you do have something and it comes
very
up,
thorough.
yeah, it's extremely thorough. If you do have something that comes up, of course, please email us and we will we'll get those answered. I'll put up our contact information here. Some of you guys are on the call today, on our webinar today, are using Sage100 through us. Some of you have other partners of record, and that's totally fine. My contact information is there at the top if you want to reach out to me, and we have the entire crew's contact information here. I will obviously be letting everyone know, who attended, if there's any questions, and shoot them over to anyone. If you want me to play point for you or whatever that may be, feel free to reach out to us. And if you have a specific question, like I said, just any question's fine. I mean, we're happy to answer anything about anything that came up or any other things about best practices in general. We love talking about this stuff, so we're here to be your resource. So with that,
or if they're ready to buy, then they can just go ahead and send money.
Oh wait, I thought everything was for free. I thought I missed it. I heard that on a webinar at one point or another.
No, that was before Eric's card got declined. So.
Yeah. I need someone to buy.
All right, everyone.
Jesse, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again for bringing us together. And everybody, keep in mind, we're all open to one-on-one presentations. You don't have to see all of us at once. So if you're interested, please feel free to contact any one of us. Thank you again.
All right, thanks again. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Yes, you too. Thank you.